Well, hello, boys and girls. Here I am on a bus heading to Yellowknife. Why, you ask? Well, I went to a bit of a bachelor party last night, had a great time, but woke up for some reason on the front yard of my life coach Ingrid's home with nothing but a diaper on and candle wax. Yeah. So that was fun. And by the time I got home, I guess the pictures people had taken had got around to social media and my wife had seen them. So you could say I have a bit of a lower body injury, and it made it very difficult for me to run away from the projectiles that were heading my direction as soon as I opened the door. Why am I going to Yellowknife, you ask? Well, I'm going to see Shemaya, my spiritual advisor, since I can't go to my life coach right now, to figure out what I'm going to do with all this mess. But that's me. Today, it's all about you. You Edmonton Oilers fans, which is me as well, because I am an Edmonton Oilers fan as well. I couldn't really talk about the Edmonton Oilers up until now without talking about the big Hull trade. The Hull trade. I don't know if you guys were the same as me. When I first heard the Hull trade, I heard Hull for Larson, and I was like, Ekman Larson, nice, awesome trade, wicked. Oh my gosh, we got Ekman Larson. And then somebody said, no, it's the New Jersey Larson. And things went numb inside of me. It brought back memories of the days when my poor upbringing and brainwashing had me a Leafs fan. And I heard these bad trades over and over and over again. Cordic for Courtnall. Cordic for Courtnall. I'll never forget. And it was every single day, it seemed. It just got worse. And I went a downward spiral into a horrible depression. But as I started getting feeling into my insides again, and I started coming to my senses a little more, and reading a little more about what happened, I started to think that maybe, just maybe, Taylor Hall was getting a little jaded from all the losing that had happened, and maybe wasn't handling it very well. And it's possible that they were questioning his leadership skills because of it. They bring in McDavid, and they sold the media, well, we wanted to have McDavid's voice in the room to be more prevalent. In other words, we didn't want Taylor Hall's voice in the room anymore. So I don't know what the whole story is behind that, but let's say that's the case. And they had to trade him, or they thought they had to trade him. So you go around the league, especially in the East, because general managers don't like trading players within the conference, and I'm not going to get into that today as I slightly disagree with that, but who am I? You go into the East, and I went into the East, I looked around at all the defensemen they could have, and if you happen to have been listening to my last posts that I've been doing, and I know you have, if you go back into your journals and go through all the advice that I've given you and pearls of knowledge, you will find that most of the teams need help on defense. It is very slim out there, and the East is pretty much the same. There was really not many defensemen available for them to choose from, even for Hull. There is a lot of, I don't even know if Detroit would have taken Hull for DeKaiser. I'm not sure. It's such a positional need that as much as people might have wanted him, they felt that they couldn't afford to trade him. And the New Jersey general manager, who I can't remember because I have the memory of a gnat, has said quite over and over again, I think he's just being nice and classy, really, because they worked us over, that he was trying to sell it as a smart trade. I'm not sure if that's the case or not. But watching them, I can say that Larson is an elite defenseman. That's for sure. In the sense that for defense, he's an elite defensive defenseman. I'm hoping he turns out something like Vlasic, and if that's the case, then it takes the sting off a little bit. Then he signs Lucic for what I think is too much, especially when you had Hull for the same amount of money. Lucic is likely on the downside of his career now, and the early showings are that is possibly the case. So all this bad news, I'm sorry, I told one of the people here, they said that if I didn't say good things about the Oilers, he'd block me. Well, don't worry, I'm going to say good things about the Oilers. Chiarelli has made some questionable moves, especially the Lucic trade, or the Lucic signing, I think. I might be able to give him a little bit of grace with the Hull trade. But all in all, they're still sitting pretty good because they have Clefbaum, which is an excellent defenseman, very underrated already, and is going to be a 1-2 for sure. Larson will probably still be able to play the 1-2 spot, and they have my second favorite Oiler now, Darnell Nurse, who I think is going to be an unbelievable defenseman and maybe better than all of them. They have Davidson coming up. These are young guys, and it's a pretty solid future D, and it's not a bad D even right now. The forwards, well, everybody knows about the forwards. They have McDavid. We have McDavid. Oh, it just makes me feel so nice. I like it when they get to do things that don't take decisions, because it seems to work out really well for them. And they have Hopkins, who is an underrated forward, two-way forward. Eberle, Pouliot, that was a nice move. I mean, they have excellent forwards. They have Puljujärvi, which is part of the reason why they traded Hull. And I don't even want to get into the fact that I was screaming at the TV when they took Yakubov because they should have took Murray, but I've already said my negative stuff, so I'm going positive here. I would have still actually took Sergachev over Puljujärvi, but we'll see what happens with that. So their forwards are fantastic. When they got the trade for Talbot, which was McTavish's deal, I think, was an excellent trade. 2 second-rounders was a lot to give up, but they knew what they were talking about because he was going to be a great goaltender, and he is. I have him making the playoffs this year, fairly comfortably actually, and everything shows signs of looking up, as long as we don't do anything else silly like we have seen in the past. And you know what? Going forward, we might look back on this and you'll say, Steve, see, you didn't know what you're talking about. Wouldn't be the last time. Well, I hit my 42. A lot of encouragement for you Oilers fans. Keep your stick on the ice. Look for the open man. Mucking and grinding in the corners. Have a great day.